What if I told you an animal once roamed the earth that was bigger than an African elephant, covered in thick fur, and lived side by side with humans? So iconic, we've seen it in cave paintings, cartoons, and even frozen in ice. Meet the woolly mammoth, a creature straight out of a prehistoric legend that actually existed. Where it all began. The woolly mammoth's origins. The woolly mammoth, Mammuthus primigenius, belonged to the elephant family and lived during the Pleistocene epoch, commonly known as the Ice Age. It first appeared around 400,000 years ago and lived until as recently as 4,000 years ago. That's right, while the Egyptian pyramids were being built, the last of the woolly mammoths were still walking on Earth, isolated on a remote island. They primarily inhabited the cold Arctic tundras of Europe, North America, and Northern Asia. These enormous beasts were perfectly adapted to their icy environments. Built for the Ice Age, their incredible adaptations. The woolly mammoth wasn't just a big, furry elephant. It was a biological marvel, finely tuned to survive extreme cold. Here's what made it unique. Double-layered coat. An inner layer of wool, up to 3 feet long, and an outer coat of guard hairs insulated the mammoth like a walking fur coat. Thick layer of fat. A 4-inch layer of subcutaneous fat helped retain body heat. Small ears and tail. Unlike modern elephants, mammoths had shorter ears and tails to reduce heat loss and frostbite. Humped back. Their large fat and muscle stores created a dome-shaped back for energy during harsh winters. Curved tusks. Up to 15 feet long. Their tusks were used to fight, dig through snow for food, and possibly even attract mates. Even their blood had adapted to prevent freezing. Scientists have discovered that mammoth blood carried a special protein that allowed oxygen to flow even in freezing temperatures. What did they eat? You might think these giant beasts needed a meat-heavy diet to survive, but no, they were herbivores, grazing on grasses, shrubs, twigs, mosses, sedges. A woolly mammoth could eat up to 400 pounds of vegetation a day. To support this diet, they had huge molars that were replaced up to 6 times during their life. When their final set wore out, the mammoth could no longer eat effectively, which often led to starvation in old age. Were they intelligent? Woolly mammoth had large brains, comparable in size and complexity to today's elephants, who are known for their intelligence and emotional depth. This means mammoths likely had strong social bonds, lived in matriarchal herds, could remember landscapes and migrate over vast distances, mourned their dead as modern elephants do. Imagine a herd of mammoths crossing icy plains, led by a wise elder female, a prehistoric version of a grandmother guiding her family across the wilderness. Mammoths and humans. A complex relationship. Yes, humans and mammoths coexisted. In fact, early Homo sapiens hunted them, and not just for food. Humans used tusks for tools and art, bones to build shelters, hides for clothing and tents. Some ancient dwellings made of mammoth bones have been discovered in Ukraine, suggesting how vital mammoths were to early survival. Cave paintings across Europe feature woolly mammoths, proving their deep cultural significance. They were not just animals, they were symbols, maybe even spiritual beings to early humans. What caused their extinction? The extinction of the woolly mammoth is a puzzle with 2 main suspects. 1. Climate change. As the Ice Age ended around 10,000 years ago, temperatures rose and their habitat shrank. Forests replaced tundra, limiting the mammoth's access to its preferred grasses and shrubs. 2. Human hunting. With the rise of human populations and improved hunting techniques like coordinated group attacks and weapons, mammoths faced greater threats. 3. Combined stress. The most likely explanation? A deadly combination of both. Changing climate and pressure from human hunting pushed mammoths over the edge. But wait, they didn't all die at once. Surprisingly, some mammoths survived much longer than others in isolation. Wrangel Island, Russia, a population survived until about 1650 BC, nearly 6,000 years after the Ice Age ended. St. Paul Island, Alaska, mammoths survived here until around 3700 BC. These island populations were cut off from predators and climate changes for a while, allowing them to cling to survival for millennia. Imagine mammoths still alive while humans were writing on clay tablets and forming the first city. Can we bring them back? Here's where things get really sci-fi. Because woolly mammoths were sometimes preserved in ice, scientists have found actual tissue, bones, and even DNA. This has sparked real efforts to de-extinct the mammoth. How? Scientists use CRISPR gene editing editing to insert mammoth DNA into the genome of an Asian elephant, its closest living relative. The goal? Create a hybrid mammoth elephant adapted for cold climates and capable of restoring ecosystems in the tundra. Why do this? Reintroducing mammoths, or their hybrids, could help restore grasslands, prevent permafrost from melting, and slow climate change. The company, Colossal Biosciences, is one of the pioneers pushing this idea, claiming that we might see woolly mammoth-like creatures again by the 2030s. Woolly mammoths frozen in time. In places like Siberia, perfectly preserved mammoth carcasses have been discovered, frozen for tens of thousands of years, with skin, fur, and organs intact. One famous discovery was a baby mammoth named Liuba, found in 2007. She died about 42,000 years ago, yet was so well preserved that her milk-filled stomach gave scientists insights into mammoth parenting and behavior. These frozen fossils are helping scientists unlock the past cell by cell. Pop culture and modern fascination. Woolly mammoths are stars in movies like Ice Age 2002, where Manny the mammoth won hearts worldwide. 10,000 BC. The Croods. They've become symbols of extinction, survival, and mystery. From museums to memes, mammoths are everywhere. And it's no wonder they embody the perfect mix of ancient wonder and modern science. Final thought. What can the mammoth teach us? The story of the woolly mammoth is more than just a tale of a prehistoric giant. It's a powerful lesson in adaptation and resilience, the balance of nature, human impact on the environment, and the possibilities of modern science. From thundering across icy plains to possibly returning through genetic engineering, the woolly mammoth's journey is far from over. If you're amazed by the story of the woolly mammoth, drop a comment below with your favorite Ice Age creature. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the past, present, and future of nature.